All right, good morning. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Appreciate everybody being here in person or virtually. In terms of introductions, any introductions we necessarily need to do?
I don't think so.
Kind of know everybody, so welcome. We're gonna dispense with the reading of the minutes at this point. We'll come back to that. What do we need to do while we have people that we can have here? What's the
Well,
agenda items?
we can go through the subcommittee reports.
Yeah, let's get, Dr. Tudor is here, so let's make sure we get his report. Neither Katie nor Judge Williford's on yet. So, Dr. Tudor?
Great. Thank you, Judge Key. Good morning to all. The Economic Subcommittee had last met on June the 12th, as was reported out in August. We announced at that time we were scheduling 2 listening sessions. One was face-to-face in Macon on the 27th of August. The other was a webinar or virtual on the evening of August the 28th. Mr. Clay came down with me and the Child Support Commission staff to the Macon meeting. We got some attendance, not a lot, but we also want to remind people that we accepted written comments. And so I think people probably provided input through the website rather than doing it face to face. At the last commission meeting, though, we went ahead and approved, that is, the whole commission approved Jane Venor from the Center for Policy Research to conduct the 2026 economic study. And we are in the process now of updating the methodology and weightings for the sampling of counties that we do every 3 years to be in compliant with federal law. So that kind of gives us most of the report on action from the Economic Subcommittee. Any questions? Hearing none, this concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tudor. Justice Land was with us for a minute, I think. So.
He was briefly, yes.
Yeah.
Seems like
I'm here.
He's
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
here. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm listening.
We don't have a quorum, but we're moving through what we can. We don't expect
Okay.
a quorum, actually. So there'll be some electronic votes taking place after this.
Okay.
Let's go down to maybe Regina, since she is here. She's the chair of Technology and Calculator Subcommittee. Regina?
Well, good morning, Judge Key, and the Technology and Calculator Subcommittee has been busy, as you might imagine, given, of course, that on January 1st, the parenting time adjustment and the low income adjustment have to work because the law goes into effect. So we've had a couple of meetings since the last commission meeting. The last one was just this week on October the 22nd. And so during this time frame since we last met, of course, the subcommittee has discussed and taken a look at the modernized calculator, which was successfully launched on July 21st as a precursor to the Senate Bill 454 changes. During that time, we've discussed some minor issues reported to IT for the Administrative Office of the Courts for them to work on, and that has included the implementation of a Remember Me feature, when logging into the calculator that will help a user that may want to come back frequently, but moving from project to project, work can be remembered for a 30-day period. In addition, the IT team, along with the commission staff, continue to work on the implementation of that parenting time adjustment and the low income adjustment, which of course is effective, as I say, January 1st. In fact, on Wednesday afternoon, the subcommittee walked through an actual test demonstration in Schedule C and observing how the low income adjustment works in the background, of course, on the new calculator. So I think that staff has put together a little PowerPoint of screenshots to help show the commission members how that will be operating. Is that correct, Kurt? Do you have that?
That is correct, yes.
All right, let's with the chair's permission, we'll just proceed and you can go through that PowerPoint.
Certainly.
Let me load it up here. Lazaro is going to share his screen for all to see. Judge Wilford.
Morning, Judge Williford.
Good morning. Sorry, I have my robe on. I'm in the middle of a trial, so I'm just joining y'all for a few minutes.
What are we one person away from the floor?
We are,
One person away from the floor. So,
yeah, one person away from report. Okay.
Okay,
Can we go full screen on that? There we go. Okay, thanks. Go to the next slide. There we go. All right, can everyone see the PowerPoint?
I can.
Okay, great. So lo and behold, this is our new Schedule C, resurrected from the dead. And in Schedule C, it looks, if you've used the parenting time adjustment tool that Katie developed, this is largely very similar on how it's going to work. There is going to be one data entry point, and that'll be the non-custodial parent parenting days. In this example, I've got Matt Miller, who is the non-custodial parent. He's been granted 100 days for parenting time. And the calculator is then, doing the math per the SB 454 formula, and is showing us that the parenting time adjustment for the non-custodial parent is $143.26 per month. We do have a disclaimer below that saying that this number does not represent the final child support amount. The parenting time adjustment is shown on line 6 of the worksheet. So if you want to go to the next slide. And here it is on the worksheet. This is our new line 6, showing that the non-custodial parent gets a $143.26 adjustment from his pro rata share of $668.05. Any questions so far on the parenting time adjustment? Okay. And do you want to go to the next slide? So the next slide is the low income adjustment. So this is the same kind of basic worksheet. The only thing different that I've done is I've changed the monthly gross income of Jennifer Miller and Matt Miller. So Jennifer Miller, her income is now $750 per month, and Matt Miller's income is $1,261.50. So that's just an imputed minimum wage order. And if you'll go down to line 10, I have removed the parenting time, days. This would be more so of a DCSS case, but I've removed the parenting time adjustment. So Matt Miller has no court-ordered parenting time, so that's not becoming a factor. But if we go down to line 10, this is the presumptive amount of child support. For Jennifer Miller, it would be $145.43, and for Matt Miller, it would be $244.57. And then on line 11, this is where the low income adjustment takes place in the background. So Jennifer Miller's adjustment with the low income is $142.50, and Matt Miller's went from $244.57 down to $239.69. Now, again, this isn't a massive break for the parties, but as kind of other adjustments for health insurance for work-related childcare came in, it would be a bit more substantial. But this is just to kind of demonstrate that how it's going to look on the worksheet, how it does look on the worksheet, and how it's working. And again, this is all completely being done in the background. Any questions on the low income adjustment?
Kurt, not a question, but just for the other commission members and the benefit of folks that may be watching, by work in the background, we mean, of course, that the statutory formula operates within the calculator itself and doesn't have a separate schedule.
Correct.
Because on the parenting time adjustment, although these are slides and he's not in the calculator, you can actually see the difference. When you're working in the calculator, you can actually change the number of days and see the actual difference in the adjustment amount itself in the calculator before you finalize and move to the front to the worksheet summary page.
Correct. Lazaro, go back to slide 2 if you don't mind. Next one. Yeah. I know it's hard to see, but there's an up and down arrow on parenting days. So if you're moving it you're going to 100, 101, 102, and so forth, that that green box is changing in real time. That's how that's working. But yeah, Regina, you are correct in that there's no, separate schedule for the low income adjustment. And go to the last slide. And yes, so as we talked about, as we were doing Senate Bill 454 and in the statute review subcommittee meetings, there was a lot of talk about the whole flip scenario. The flip scenario being when you had a custodial parent that maybe had a higher income than the non-custodial parent, but they had very similar parenting time schedules. So, dad might have 180 days while mom had 185. In this scenario, we've got the income for, Jennifer and Matt Miller. The mother is making, $10,412 per month, and the father is making $6,250 per month. So a little bit more realistic scenario, but the non-custodial parent has 180 days of parenting. So the parenting time adjustment, as you can see, is now the parenting time adjustment of $860.01 is exceeding the pro rata share of the child support obligation. And this is the whole flip scenario that we talked about, and that was, written into Senate Bill 454. So, whereas the old calculator would have just brought the subtotal of, a negative $192, it would have brought it to zero. It now will show on the final line, line 16. And in the bottom yellow box with that red arrow pointing to it, we've added to the calculator, a little bit of clarity on how that works. And per Senate Bill 454, the negative amount for the quote non-custodial parent becomes the positive equivalent, and the payer changes from the non-custodial parent to the custodial parent. And that bottom text there clarifies that, because this was a big talking point. This was a big talking point in statute review, and it was a big talking point when this bill was being put together. But that's an enhancement that we added to it.
It's for the Child Support Commission.
Yes,
Correct.
please come in.
Yeah, okay.
When you sign up for public comment? When you sign up for public comment?
You can hold the comments at the end if you'd like to take a seat.
Any questions regarding this enhancement?
I don't have a question regarding the enhancement itself, but are you guys seeing these kind of what some call now reverse deviation in practice? Are judges doing that? Ordering custodial parents to pay child support?
I've
What-
never seen it and I've never done it.
What I'm seeing and getting a lot of questions about, Judge Key, is I am getting asked about it fairly regularly by bench and bar alike. More often than not, I'm seeing them just use it as an indication to have no monthly child support go back and forth between the parents, but share in whatever expenses, went into that, whether it's, addressing whether, the health insurance premiums that one parent's paying that also, can contribute to those numbers, or and uninsured medical expenses just being done pro rata, and even more and more and more. And I know we're going to get to this in a later, but the sharing of special expenses of child rearing, extracurricular activities, and that kind of thing in proration, and just less of a monthly exchange if we get that flip scenario.
Just curious how it's being received by, particularly by the bench. So, any other questions or comments on this slide?
Well, that concludes the PowerPoint.
Regina?
Thank you, Kurt, for that. Just our plan and the staff's plan to launch the calculator, as you all know from past experience, the calculator will have to be down for a period of time. And so the IT team and staff has recommended taking the child support calculator offline for a maintenance window that will run from 6 p.m. on Wednesday, December 31st to 8 a.m. on Monday, January 5th. And so I would suspect that there will not be a lot of folks applying the new guidelines on January 2nd in court hearings that are going to verdict on that day in that short window. So I think that should be fine. But if anybody's got any issues or heartburn about that, we can certainly discuss it. But right now, that's the plan. Maintenance window that'll be added to the website and on the commission and the calculator website itself, that maintenance window. And of course, the usual announcements will go out. If there's nothing that anybody needs to talk about the calculator itself, meaning the new calculator rollout with the legal changes that go into effect on January 1st, we have also been discussing in the subcommittee a matter that needs a vote. Or we would like a vote on. We have been discussing the calculator's archive of child support worksheets. We mentioned that briefly in the commission meeting. The calculator currently stores over 600,000 worksheets created by users, and unless a user archives a worksheet and then deletes it individually, the calculator retains every worksheet ever created by a user. This has, of course, proven very burdensome with the calculator modernization project. That's all 600,000 worksheets needed to be migrated to the new system. In addition to, it's probably not a good idea just to have all those worksheets in the calculator, right? The subcommittee with financial information. The subcommittee voted unanimously in favor of removing all user worksheets over 5 years old, and that the old worksheets will then be archived in a deep freeze status. That's not a technical IT term, I'm sure, but that's what will happen. But it will be inaccessible to all users at that point. So if possible, Judge Key, we would like a vote on that so that staff can do that, perform that function.
Well, Deputy Commissioner, we're one person short on a quorum. I did have a question as to whether this really requires a vote of the commission or just maybe a sense of the commission. It seems to me to not be a policy issue, but more administrative things. But I think Kurt would like one, and I understand that safe cover that comes with a vote of the commission. So we will have, I think, unless we have someone sign on very quickly, have to submit that to electronic vote along with the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know we're about to lose Judge Williford probably, and Chuck said he had to go. I don't know about anybody else, but
I have a comment or question, Judge.
all right, please.
Regina, the 5 years, how far back are these that we want to archive or that we want to put in deep freeze? I mean, is 5 years enough? I mean, we're not talking about, 15 years worth, are we?
Well, 5 years would be, if it's older than 5 years. And so Kurt and staff can help me with this, but it's from the time it went to the online calculator, which would have been, I believe, 2017. If my memory serves me, somebody can help me with that. My memory.
2016, yeah.
I guess my question is, why did we choose 5 years instead of 3 years? I mean, is 5 years still a financial burden on the state? I mean, 5 years seems like a long time to save child support worksheets. What was the strategy behind that?
Judge, I think with the and staff can maybe speak to this as well, but I think with the modernization project, where we're no longer, they can explain it better than I can, but we're no longer on our own platform in the cloud. When we modernized, we went to an approach that makes the number of worksheets themselves less of an administrative burden than they once were. It just is obviously a risk to have that kind of financial information floating around, accessible to users. So, and the final analysis, when we got down to it with after the modernization, the 5 years was not a financial burden, but we can get those cost comparisons to the full commission.
Well, I don't know that that's necessary. It was just a question I had. If it's not a big difference in the financial burden, I just didn't if it was, then I was just curious as to if we could do less than 5 years.
I think we can do anything we want. Of course, some cases stretch on 2-3 years, depending on where you are in the state, sadly. That
Yeah.
a case can stretch on that far, but it can. And so I think that was just a nice round number that the subcommittee felt comfortable that surely after 5 years, you would not need access to your worksheets that were over 5 years old.
Okay, thank you.
I think we now have,
Quorum.
now have a quorum. We may not have it long. So, Regina, this comes from a standing committee, so it does not need a second. Any further discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, then all in favor of the proposal to put anything more than 5 years old in the deep freeze, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay, speak up. Motion carries. Can we jump back and do the minutes
We'll
real
do the
quick?
minutes, yes.
We'll do the minutes while we have a quorum. Thank you guys for hanging in. That told us you had to sign off in 20 minutes. That's about where we are. So everyone received the minutes. Are there any proposed changes, deletions, additions to the minutes? Hearing none, they stand approved as submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So if you have to go, we understand. If you can stay, please stay, and we'll go to statute review committee. Judge Willard or Katie?
Katie, you got this. I don't think I received any executive notes. I don't know why.
Sure. So the statute review subcommittee last met on July 18th, 2025. At the last full commission meeting on August 1st, the commission voted to approve the changes to our child support guidelines, OCGA 19615, those being the removal of the 7% test in the deviation for special expenses of child rearing, expressly providing that the extraordinary expenses of child rearing can be handled outside of worksheet. Hopefully everyone knows what we mean when we use that phrase, and moving dental and vision insurance when applicable from Schedule E to Schedule D in the worksheet, so that the math and the proration is done for the parents correctly, whereas when it's on Schedule E, it's much more likely to be calculated incorrectly. The commission staff has drafted language to make those changes to our statutory guidelines, and the language is currently being reviewed by the subcommittee. If I'm being honest with the group, I'm pretty sure what that means, as I read the executive agenda, is that it is stuck on my desk, and that I owe staff and the balance of my subcommittee a response to that. And I sincerely apologize. My trial calendar in the last 8 to 10 weeks has been truly atrocious. I have been all over the state. I know everyone on this group is busy, and so I'm sorry to make myself sound like I'm busier than any of you, because I'm not. I'm just as busy as the rest of you. But it is on my desk, and I promise I will follow through and get there and get that back to staff. And I'm not making a great impression on Joanna as our new staff leader by not getting back to her as quickly. I have not earned enough goodwill to be doing that. So my apologies to the subcommittee, to staff, and to the full commission. But the official report of the subcommittee is that the language changes are being reviewed, and I will ensure that we finish that up. I take that on myself. Anyways, when approved, and if approved, then the subcommittee will submit the language to the full commission for an e-vote, hopefully very shortly, because I am now very embarrassed at my own lack of diligence in getting this done in time for today's meeting. So that is our update, which comes with my sincerest apologies to all of you for not having done my specific homework a little bit sooner than today's meeting.
In consideration of your amazing contribution to this commission over the years, then we will forgive you. And really no apology necessary.
Wow. Thank you. I
agree.
appreciate that.
Any questions, questions for Katie? Or Judge Williams?
All right, with that, I do have to hop off. Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, for signing on.
Take care.
Thanks, and I will also be exiting, but for those who are making public comments, I will go back and watch the video so I hear their public comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Titterer.
Take care.
Let's see, we skipped around. Let's see where we are.
We move on to public comments now.
Yeah, that's where I apologize, for not giving you a chance to lay down the house rules. We were in a hurry, so housekeeping. So public comments. Do we have anyone on the virtual? We have well, while you're looking at that, we have a gentleman present.
You don't have.
Sir, yeah. Sir, will you state your name, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Sanjana. I am a public policy researcher and I work with several of the fatherhood groups in the state of Georgia, Fathers Matter ATL. I work for a private research firm as well that does federal policy research. And I'm really here to gather information about how community members can participate with the commission and get an understanding of how they can contribute to helping to develop policy that's more positively impactful in their lives. So in several of these organizations, there are many concerns about child support and how it impacts families. So I just want to make sure that I, make the connections, network with the commission and figure out how to collaborate and figure out a healthy way for the community to participate so that, their voice can be heard in commissions when you all are making decisions.
Well, thank you for being here. And first, I would like for Kurt or someone on staff to talk about kind of structurally the opportunities that the public has to provide input. And then if you would like afterwards, you could stay and personally meet staff. So if you have a connection.
Absolutely.
Kurt.
Sure, I mean, we're always available to take public comment on our website. That is csc.georgiacourts.gov. And I can give you my card as well. It's got our website on it. We're always happy to take emails. You can email the commission through that, make public comment to the commission. And you can also email me directly, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And what's your name again, please?
Kurt, Brian, K-U-R-T, and Brian, B-R-Y-A-N.
And you're always welcome to attend our meetings in person or virtually.
Yeah, how often do you have meetings?
It varies depending on need, at least twice a year.
3 or 4 times a year, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times a year. So this time of year particularly, we try to meet and address pending legislative matters.
Mhm.
Occasionally during session, if we need to take a position on a pending matter. Almost always not long after session and any other time we need to.
In particular, are there any research needs that the commission has that, in terms of getting data about how child support policy impacts communities or anything like that? Are there any important decisions that you're making where that data could be helpful?
I wouldn't say at this point right now we're in any kind of need of research. I will say the commission's statutory authority is regarding the guidelines of child support only. The commission doesn't have any authority regarding, the enforcement or, anything like that regarding child support. We do specifically look at the guidelines themselves. But at this time, no, there's no, kind of current ongoing research going on at this time.
Okay. And if community members have concerns about the guidelines in particular, they can voice those concerns via the website. And
Yeah.
what is the process, I guess, that they can expect after they voice a concern?
Depending on what the concern is, I mean, if it's something that, directly involves the commission, if it's something that directly involves the guidelines themselves, it can be brought forth to the full commission for, discussion, that kind of thing. And then we kind of go from there. If it's not, we may point you, in a different direction. If it's something that just, isn't within, our statute which is on OCGA 19615. Yeah, if it's something, that applies to that, sure. It's something that, we would look at and discuss.
You said OCGA?
19615.
And any matters that are commission staff receives that they think needs to be sent to one of our subcommittees, it would be sent to one of our subcommittees.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you so much.
You just heard from all of our subcommittees, so you know kind of what they do.
You said what now?
So you just heard from all of our subcommittees, so you kind of have an idea of what those subcommittees do. Judge Coble, welcome. Good to see you.
And when is the next meeting?
There's currently
Sorry
not.
for my tardiness.
It's all right. Judges are busy. Everyone's busy. Almost as busy as Katie. I'm just kidding.
There's currently not a there's currently not another meeting set for any of our subcommittees at this time. But as far as the next full commission meeting, that is a good question. Do we want to do another one before the end of the year?
Is there a need?
Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna say no. Unless there's, some very lively discussion regarding the changes regarding the 7% test. I do not think I don't feel there's a need, but it could, if there's discussion, there might need to be.
So we don't anticipate setting one now, I don't think, because I would hate to set one that's not necessarily needed badly. And then 2 weeks later, have to call one when something comes out of the blue legislatively or otherwise that we have to address. There will certainly be one in the spring.
Yes, early spring.
And we kind of missed this along the way. And since you're sitting here and people see you, would you introduce yourself?
Ryan Bradley, I'm the manager of the policy and paternity unit for child support in Georgia.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. Then we stand adjourned. Thank you.